The following program has been brought to you in part by Sennheiser and the Airline Pilots Association.
On this episode of the Flight Deck, we'll tell you why U.S. airlines have come clean with the hidden fees, which open skies agreements just opened new flight opportunities and to where, what you need to know before you head to your next medical exam, and how the Air France accident might change aircraft design. All of this and more here on the Flight Deck. Hello, I'm Sharon Varab. Welcome to the Flight Deck. The Department of Transportation issued a new set of airline passenger protections in April. They addressed air travelers' top pet peeves, namely hidden fees for bags, meals, reservation changes, and the like. The new rules require airlines to disclose all fees and taxes on their websites. They also increase the pay for those who are involuntarily bumped from their flights and expand the current ban on lengthy tarmac delays. Most of the rules take effect this August. Investigators recently retrieved the black box from the Air France airplane that crashed into the Atlantic Ocean nearly 2 years ago. Accident investigators have downloaded all of the information captured by the flight data recorder. They say the analysis will take several weeks and they expect to publish an interim report by the summer. According to the Wall Street Journal, safety proponents at ICAO have called for new black box standards in light of this crash. They want to make it easier to find data recorders following aircraft accidents. The report says ICAO hopes to have these new standards within the next year or two. The U.S. Department of Justice recently approved the merger between Southwest Airlines and AirTran Airways. The department reports the $1 billion deal will not hurt competition or raise fares. Lyndon Hillman, AirTran's pilot group leader, issued a statement supporting the transaction, saying the AirTran pilots are completely committed to the success of the combined company. Southwest hopes to receive a single operating certificate from the FAA by the first quarter of 2012. Emirates posted a 55% surge in net profits for its latest fiscal year. The state-owned airline banked $1.5 billion and saw double-digit gains in both passenger and cargo traffic. This year, the airline will add 4 new routes to Geneva, Copenhagen, Buenos Aires, and Rio de Janeiro. It will also add 6 Airbus A380s and 13 Boeing 777s to its fleet. Boeing predicts that Middle East air traffic will grow an average of 7.1% each year for the next 20 years. Exercising their rights under an open skies agreement that President Obama signed in March, U.S. carriers have applied for new flights between the U.S. and Brazil. Reports indicate that both American and Delta want to open new routes to Manaus in the Amazon rainforest. American wants to fly from Miami, while Delta wants to fly from its hub in Atlanta. The Open Skies Agreement should increase the number of flights between the two countries beginning in October. The National Transportation Safety Board held a meeting to thoroughly review the Empire Airlines Flight 8284 accident from 2009. The discussion included flight crew fatigue, operating in icing conditions, and crew resource management training. ALPA President Captain Lee Moak said the board echoed many of ALPA's long-standing safety priorities, such as avoiding flight in certain icing conditions and enhancing training for aviation workers. The FAA granted ETOPS approval in the new Boeing 787 Dreamliner's Trent 1000 engine on May 9th. The certification will allow the Boeing jet to fly up to 330 minutes away from the closest emergency airfield. This opens up oceanic and polar crossing routings from 2 engine planes. It also allows more direct routings, shorter flight times, and reduced fuel consumption. Boeing plans to deliver the first Dreamliner to All Nippon Airways sometime in the 3rd quarter. According to the AFL-CIO, safety in the workplace should remain a priority for the U.S. government. The organization recently released a report that revealed that an average of 12 workers a day died on the job in 2009. The report details how current proposals to cut the budget would decimate workers' safety. To read the full report, please visit our website at flightdeck.alpa.org. Are you taking your medical exam soon? After the break, Dr. Snyder will give you some helpful tips on exactly what you have to report and what you don't.
From the first time I boarded a commercial plane as its pilot, I've embraced the responsibility I have to the safety of my passengers and crew. And I have the best flight gear, even the headset certified for commercial duty. It lets me concentrate on the task at hand, making this the safest flight my passengers will ever have.
The feature-packed HMEC 26 provides long-wearing comfort and more than 18 dB of noise reduction. Try the HMEC 26 on your next flight and hear the difference for yourself.
Hi, I'm Bill from Charleston, South Carolina. I'd like to ask a pilot, what do you do on long flights?
Well, Bill, that's a great question. And if you think back to the last time you went flying, you heard the captain making that cool announcement, ladies and gentlemen, we've just leveled off at our initial cruising altitude. That's about the time in the flight when the aircraft is level and we're flying from point A to point B. We're done with our checklist. At that point in time, if you had the ability to peek in the cockpit, you might be surprised because you'll see the pilots sitting in their seat just staring at the instruments and you're thinking maybe not a lot's going on. But in actuality, we have a lot of things happening, particularly with our engine instruments that we have to monitor, or navigation systems, and we're also making sure that our autopilot is doing exactly what we programmed it to do. In addition, we have radio communications with air traffic control we either have to monitor or respond to. So as we get closer to the end of the flight, we also have to take a look at our destination weather, and if there's some changes that have to be made, particularly if the weather is too bad to land, we may have to start reprogramming the computer for an alternate landing site.
Going to the doctor can be stressful for some, but for airline pilots, it can mean the difference between flying for a living and being grounded. Here's Dr. Snyder, ALPA's doctor on call, with what you need to report to the government after your next trip to the doctor.
All pilots are required on FAA Form 8500-8, Application for Airman's Medical Certification, to report all visits to healthcare providers within the preceding 3 years. Failure to report can adversely affect a pilot's medical certificate or pilot's license, while improper reporting may lead to groundings, delayed certification, or unnecessary medical evaluations. When you go to the AME, bring a list of all your healthcare visits since your last FAA exam. Also, bring documentation of any significant medical visits, such as surgeries, with you, and provide it to the AME if requested. Some rules of thumb when reporting. Once you've checked yes for a condition in question 18, you always check yes for that condition, though you should indicate that it was previously reported. You should briefly describe any condition you report, but remember to list diagnoses, not symptoms. Multiple visits for a single condition may be reported on a single line on the application with a range of dates given. Routine dental and eye exams and FAA medical exams may be excluded. Dental surgery or visits for eye problems are not considered routine visits. Visits to your Employee Assistance Program or EAP providers may be excluded if there is no personal diagnosis of substance abuse or dependence. For guidance about filling out Form 8500-8 or other medical concerns, you can contact ALPA's Aeromedical Office at 303-341-4435. All calls are strictly confidential.
You might have noticed that this advice is strictly for those of you filling out paperwork for the FAA. For ALPA's Canadian members, Dr. Snyder says that although many of you might also fill out an FAA form, the advice differs for Transport Canada. If you have additional questions, please contact ALPA's Canadian Pilot Assistance Committee at 866-423-1875. Pilots fly many different operations and encounter all sorts of situations. In this month's Airline Pilot, you can read about one ALPA pilot's touching experience. Captain Bob Cruz recounts flying a charter to evacuate military families from the ruins of Japan in the days that followed the 8.9 magnitude earthquake and tsunami. He takes you through the trip step by step, sharing stories of the aftershocks he felt during the layover and how he watched the women and children board his plane. In the article, he says, "Sometimes it takes an experience like this to remind us of the awesome trust and confidence that the traveling public places in us." If you want to read his full story, just visit our website, flightdeck.alpa.org, and click on Our Stories. Everyone here on the Flight Deck is searching for more stories like Captain Cruz's to share with our viewers. Please send us your view from the cockpit at flightdeck@alpa.org. Coming up in a future edition of the Flight Deck, we'll be featuring 3 ALPA pilot volunteers who were nominated and chosen to receive the association's top honors in safety, security, and pilot assistance. Delta Captain Pete Fry, Delta Captain Bob Hesselbein, and Hawaiian Captain Mimi Tompkins will be recognized during ALPA's Air Safety Forum held in July in Washington, D.C. For more information on the forum, please visit safetyforum.alpa.org. Now it's time to watch and win. First, congratulations to Mark Godfrey of Helotes, Texas for making it to the next round. Your name was randomly selected from the last episode. Mark will now be entered into the grand prize drawing along with 5 other winners. On to today's question. How much does Boeing predict air traffic to grow in the Middle East? Please visit our website at flightdeck.alpa.org to submit the answer for your chance to win a Sennheiser headset. Thank you for watching the Flight Deck. If you have any feedback about this episode, please let us know at flightdeck@alpa.org. Thanks again, and I'll see you next month here on the Flight Deck.